Hello everybody. Welcome back to another video on the channel. So, this aircraft is one of the Vietnam era fighter bombers. This is the Republic F-105 ThunderChief, also known as the Thud. This aircraft was very famous mostly during Operation Rolling Thunder, during the first bombing missions in North Vietnam. But unfortunately, Operation Rolling Thunder was kind of a huge failure for the United States because of how many planes was lost during that operation. And during the Vietnam War, it just continued being escorted by the most famous aircraft, which is the F-4 Phantom II. There have been a few occasions that were F-105s that have shot down some like North Vietnamese MiG-17 jet fighters. Like there was one of them who actually received the Medal of Honor for one heroic action. His name was Leo Keith Thorsness, who flew these F-105s. He flew the Wild Weasel version, the two-seater F-105. That were F-105F, which is basically a trainer but transformed to a Wild Weasel variant. His famous mission came on April 19, 1967, while his wingman F-105 was shot down by hit by anti-aircraft fire. He shot down two North Vietnamese MiG-17s and strafed surface-to-air missile sites. The first time he had to depart the area real quick in search of a tanker, which he was able to get refueled. He got back into the area, and that's when he shot down his second MiG-17. But then he had to leave the area again to go back for fuel. But then he had found out that his another F-105 pilot was also low on fuel. So despite that he was low on fuel himself, he gave that pilot the opportunity to refuel, and he headed back to Udorn Air Base past the Mekong River to Udorn Air Base in Thailand. But 11 days later, on April 30th, 1967, his F-105 F ThunderChief was shot down by a MiG-21 over North Vietnam on his 93rd mission. And he was captured by the North Vietnamese, and he spent 6 torturous years in captivity as a prisoner of war. Then he was released in Operation Homecoming in 1973, but for that heroic action on April 19th, he received the Medal of Honor for that heroic action. And there was other F-105 ThunderChief pilots who were also prisoners of war. There were two that were Korean War aces. One was James H. Kessler, who he flew F-105s in Vietnam, and he was a prisoner of war too after his F-105 was shot down. The other one named was Robinson Reisner, who was an F-86 ace with 8 kills to his name. And during the Vietnam War, he was shot down by anti-aircraft fire in 1965, and he spent 7.5 years as a prisoner of war as well, which is really bad. They retired these F-105s in service in 1980, I think something. And it's in museums around the world. Like they have them in Museum of the United States Air Force, which I probably hope we'll be able to see these F-105s. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the video, and stay tuned for more.